From the meeting of January 14th of the ERB. We sent an agenda out. Does anybody have anything they want to add to the agenda now? I think the only thing I wanted to add to the agenda was a discussion later on about public participation during the meeting and proposals to possibly go live where they can send their comments in from home or wherever they happen to be. And we'll discuss that at the end. Okay, first item on the agenda is 17A Warehouse, Jessup Switch Road. Most of us know this is Al Morad's, I don't know, fourth, fifth warehouse or whatever it is. He's proposing a site plan modification of it. We've seen it before, it's coming back again now. Anybody have comments on it?
Well, in the narrative that I read online, I'm sorry, the long EAF form,
Yep.
Which they did for it. One thing I couldn't quite get was that it noted that the warehouse did not fit the neighborhood, right? It didn't fit in. That's what it said. They checked off the yes box. I don't know if that was a mistake, but I can't see how it doesn't fit in. It's an entirely industrial area down there, unless the other three warehouses were by special permit or?
They were all by special permit, I'm sure.
Okay.
Based on the zoning. They are all there. There's 1, 2, 3 right there right now. The only thing not exactly in with the neighborhood down there is between them and, what's that, Pumpkin Swamp Road?
Yeah.
There are residences in there.
Down Jessup Switch.
And then down Jessup Switch. And then also right on, adjacent to this is the playing fields for some of the Florida school district.
That's in the back of it, yeah.
Right. Other than that, I think it's, obviously, we have at least 3 warehouses right there. And then we have 1, 2, 3 more going forward towards 17A.
Oh, do we? In that same?
Well, it's Al, Mr. Morad or whatever, has one. Everybody know where we're talking about? 17, let's go 17A as you're headed to Florida. Just as you're ready to get out of the town, you pass Remy Products, I don't know if this is the name.
Remy Plaza?
Yeah,
It's on the right-hand side. Sam's Meats is down there.
Yeah,
And
Sam's, I'm trying to picture what signs is up there. But,
It's right across from Northern Bear.
right, yep. So anyhow, his buildings start right there. That first big one, he's actually in there with doing his production. I think he does cables or whatever.
He does cables.
Cables or wiring, whatever.
Plus other stuff.
Yep, and there's another, there used to be at least 1 or 2 daycare in there. Then behind that is another warehouse that used to also have sports in there. And probably still does have sports, I guess.
Yeah, that's
Yeah.
big sports
Yeah,
center
there
back
used to be
there.
2
This is
sports.
17A.
Yeah.
This is the intersection. But before you get that, this is Remy Plaza. This is Sam's
Okay,
Meat Warehouse.
yeah.
And then they have these funky roads that go back to, these are the
Oh,
athletic
okay.
fields, right? And then
Yeah.
you've got the,
Warehouses. and
right.
This is the property.
and this is the property that he wants to put the warehouse on. Neil, they were talking about lifting this warehouse out of the floodplain. Are we still talking about that?
I think they pretty much have to.
Okay, if that's the case, the applicant needs to bring in a tremendous amount of fill. My concern was that it is clean fill, that this is a delicate area. You know, you've got the black dirt right there. You do have a waterway right next to it. Man-made, these are all trenches, but whatever materials that need to be brought in need to be done so, they need to be certified clean, right? You might know, who would guarantee that they are certified clean?
We can request that it be tested that way. And then the town, or not the town board, but the planning board can determine how they want to have that taken care of. There are agencies that will do the testing. And then the question there is how much do you want, how much that has to be tested? Is it every truckload, is it every acre, is it whatever? So question is frequency and everything else.
Okay.
And then what are you gonna have tested for? Certainly, the origin of the soil should be a question. That would help to start out.
Would you know if he had to do that for his previous
Yeah,
buildings?
yeah, I think most of that
I think
soil
so, too.
came from KJ,
Okay.
when they're building those buildings.
And I guess while we're on me, the town of Goshen, the line right there is Meadow Road, right? Pumpkin Swamp Road?
Yeah,
Goshen on this side, Warwick on the other.
right.
But on the other side is a neighborhood, a pretty
Mm-hmm.
dense neighborhood, concerned about the number of trucks that they're bringing in, the times that they're bringing in, and the noise that it makes. And this is gonna dovetail in with Signs of the Soul parking, but
Okay.
the time of day that they're gonna be bringing them in, if you're gonna be running multiple trucks, and you can be talking about 1,000 trucks, right? Jake brakes, noise sensitive area, and I can't stand a lazy dump truck driver that slaps that tailgate, because that is a boom that echoes through the valley. And if you're doing that all day long, it's just not fair to the residents. So I'm tuned into the environmentally sensitive nature of the noise.
There aren't that many residents down there, though.
Not on the Goshen side, but if you cross over the road
Mm-hmm.
to the Warwick side, there's a whole neighborhood here. It's the Village of Florida.
Yeah.
And although, okay, they don't vote for in Goshen, I still
We're
feel.
still responsible for it.
I still, yeah, I
We
feel
are
like
still responsible.
I thought they were in the town of Goshen because that Quaker Creek years ago was moved to the back of where those residences are. It was on this side of
I believe.
of Pumpkin Swamp Road, then they moved it over.
Yeah,
So they're in the town of Goshen, I believe.
I don't think they are. I think they are not in there. Though I think at the other side, we changed it. On the other side, going up 94 something.
Wait a second.
We moved people into the Village of Florida there.
They definitely don't vote in Goshen, I can tell you that. But I don't know if does that line up with the town line exactly?
I really thought Pumpkin Swamp Road was the line,
That's what I've seen online, but
until you get over, where Quaker Creek cuts down
Mhm.
through the black dirt more now.
And it goes through the
then-
black dirt.
Right, then it's the Quaker Creek from there on out.
Okay.
I did also hear at the planning board meeting that the bridge that comes off of Pumpkin Swamp onto Jessup Switch, we do believe that that bridge at some point was updated and that it will handle truck traffic.
Right.
And I believe Mr. Hoffman, town engineer, he said that there should be a sign there, or that there was and there isn't now. But I sure don't want that bridge to collapse while we're putting how many
Yep.
dump trucks over it, just to certify that that will handle that traffic. And the last thing I had was that the applicant does have, he does have approvals, prior approvals for other, the other warehouses down there. He was supposed to widen the road. It hasn't been done for some reason. But this absolutely, you know, we're putting trucks down this road. We need this thing wide enough to handle everything.
You're talking about Jessup Switch Road?
Jessup
or the-
Switch.
Yeah, on both sides of it, whichever way they come in, or both sides of his entrance to that, right?
Yes.
Because it gets pretty narrow there.
Yeah, I think they're actually proposing to go all the way up to his second entrance nowadays.
Oh, really? Okay.
Yeah, so they're gonna expand it, make it bigger than what it, or go up, widen it
So
further
they're
up
gonna-
than what they were
They're gonna
intending.
do that before they start filling in?
There is,
dirt?
that was a big discussion and it got rather heated. So the question is,
I mean, you're gonna do it sometime.
no,
you know, so
I agree and I have no problem and certainly at the point of doing construction, it seems like once you start getting bigger trucks going
Mm.
in further, to the degree they're going up the road, it would seem like they should go ahead
Yeah.
and widen it at that
Did he
point.
say what he's going to use the warehouse for?
No, he, I don't know what he knows usually. He ends up filling them up. I mean, I think all his stuff
I
is
know.
filled up.
I went by there 10 days, 2 weeks ago or something, in one of those buildings that looked like, there was a number of, you know,
Yeah.
parcels that were empty that had.
Okay, I don't know.
So,
I-
you know, you're building something that, well, it's his dollar, his
Yeah,
dime.
and I know at one point in time, his daughter used one of the buildings for, her business. I think her business might be selling his wires.
Oh.
But I do know that she moved into one of them.
Oh, okay.
There was also a question on the water. He'll be using they're gonna be using a well.
Yeah.
community water supply well, but I don't recall if they, was well testing required on this one? Because you are pulling off of, the water table down there. And I don't think there's a problem with water in that area?
Yeah, I'm not aware of any real issues down there. However, we always are concerned about agricultural chemicals. So I think that certainly is gonna be tested. And more than just for E. coli.
And again, he's pulling the same well for his other buildings, and we should certainly hope that those buildings have clean water, but that doesn't necessarily.
But I think it also kicks it into the Department of Health now too.
Okay.
I think it's 25 employees use it on a regular basis. Certainly when he connects all those together, I think that's there.
Well, that's the thing, does he have to connect them all together, or does each building stand alone as its own?
I'm not sure, and I'm not sure you can get around with that since all the wells are on the same property.
Got it.
Okay, John, you have anything?
He was supposed to do some other work in there, and fixing that road that goes to Jessup Switch Road, and they're putting a gate in there. Is that gonna be part of his?
He is supposed to have a gate so there's no through traffic maybe, and I'm not sure that makes sense, and I'm not sure at this point in time it should happen that way. Only because I think the state fire code says once a facility, and I would think that if all these are on the same property, they become a facility. Once you're on a facility, once a facility has over 62,000 square feet of building, or 124, if everything's sprinklered, every building on the property is sprinklered, there's 124,000, and you have to have otherwise 2 remote entrances.
Okay, so
According to the fire
he
code.
may not need the sprinkler part, right?
Well, he may not need to sprinkle for his buildings, but I think he actually has at least one of them sprinkled.
Okay,
So he may not need it for the building, but he may need it because of the overall cumulative square footage of the properties. Like I'm sure it is. I think this proposal for this building alone is it 100,000?
It's 100,000, yes.
Yeah, so he's gonna beat 124. So he has to have 2 remote access.
okay,
So that means he has to go out to Pump and Swamp, and he has to be able to go out the other way to 17M or go out the other end and go. I guess I'm not sure if he can go out right by the Village of Florida's sewer treatment plant and all that. That's a roadway, but otherwise he has to go all the way out to further out through his other property. But I think it's all there.
okay.
And Neil, I'll correct myself, there is a well testing protocol, but the well test has not been done yet.
Yeah.
That's what it was, I know something about it, thank you.
Yep.
So is he gonna have to fill, now, he's looking to bring all that fill in there, and that fill was like substantial amount of fill, right?
It's got a substantial amount of fill.
Yeah, and that's all gonna have to be in there, and it's gonna have to be sit or whatever.
Sure,
the rest
what has to happen is, it has to be filled. I know on his last building, he brought in fill, and he had to have the soil tested, so that we were certain that the fill was solid enough to
Yeah.
hold up the building.
Okay.
A compaction test?
Yeah,
I mean, they are right there on the black dirt, it's
sure, it's questionable,
small.
or suspect, whatever, yeah.
But again, he's putting $1 million into a building, I should certainly hope that part of that is making sure that the ground is solid enough.
And it could also impact the weight, the size of his footings in that. He could make extra wide footings if he had to.
Yeah,
But yeah, the whole thing has to be tested.
They drive piles, they can do all that.
Right, yeah.
Tighten up the ground.
Yeah, we actually had signs that were sold in that really significant. All right?
I looked at the EAF also, I thought it was pretty straightforward, I didn't see,
What I did see is he's showing, and I wasn't quite sure, he's showing that he's going to, when he talks about wastewater on page 5, name of wastewater treatment plant to be used is 464 Route 17A LLC sewer treatment plant. I think that's probably his sewer treatment plant. And I'm okay with that, and the question kind of, because I think in engineering properties letter, they talk about having to form, it is noted that a sewage works corporation is required as the speed use permit involves more than one separately owned parcel property. So So I think that, that's a question that is, what has to happen there, and we have to make sure that that does happen, so that legally
So,
he can use that. And he may have to have easements or cross easements, whatever.
Did you say he has his own sewage treatment?
Yeah, he, a long time ago for his first building, I think, he had his, in fact, I'm not sure it was his, might have been somebody before he bought it. But that, I think the building out front has a wastewater treatment system.
And so all the other ones go there?
I think that, everything goes
Is
there,
it
right?
sized for all the,
That's a good other question, is sizing it. You did sewer stuff, right?
a little bit.
Okay,
We had a sewage, on-site sewage treatment.
okay.
I did my best to stay out of there.
That's okay. All right, so that's the question. So,
Yeah, he's saying here they're only gonna make 1,000 gallons of.
yeah, I think
This
he's going,
side of the,
I think he's only planning on 15, usually somebody working on a building is 15 gallons a day.
Yeah.
it's gotta be.
Times, I think he's
Yeah.
going 60 some odd
Yeah.
employees.
This is bumping.
But yeah, I think he's right, it's gonna be low, and I suspect the other building will way lower.
Okay, once again, we don't know what's going in the building.
Yep,
And if he wanted to change the occupancy, then
Yeah.
if
and
he
he has
wants,
to come back.
yes.
But right now, I think all they're talking about is warehousing. Okay, so, and I think on the next page, page 6, will a new wastewater sewage treatment plant district be formed to serve it? And I don't know the answer to that, but based on, what Ross Wingowitz submitted on, November 4th, it's noted that a sewage work corporation is required. So he may have to do that transportation corporation.
Well, it just says will the line extension into a district serve the project, which again, we're talking about going to his own private,
I think so.
but does he, so he would join his existing transportation corporation?
Right, I think so. Whatever, the attorney for the planning board will figure that one out. We're going with Sean or whatever.
Okay.
But yeah, I think that's it. On the EAF mapper, there are wetlands, it identifies that there are several potential issues. One is that there's federal wetlands there. And then I see on the site plan that they talk about DEC wetlands. I'd like to confirm that we're not missing the federal wetlands on the map, on the site plan. I think the DEC wetlands are not very significant.
No, and as we said, it's all,
Yeah. I think it's right here though, only.
right,
But there are possibly Army Corps wetlands according to the EAF mapper summary. So let's just confirm that there are no additional federal wetlands. And then 2 lines below that, are there any impaired water bodies? And the answer is yes, and I know that to be true, only because I know that Quaker Creek has been considered to be impaired for a long time. So Quaker Creek is an impaired water body, and it's dissolved oxygen demand, I think, according to this, and it does have an impact on aquatic life. So to the degree that that has any impact at all on what has to happen on the property, that should be considered. It may be that they have to go for some kind of enhanced stormwater treatment or whatever, or so that any runoff going to that because of this construction may have to be treated above normal or standard.
retention ponds or something to
Yeah.
hold the water.
Yep.
And he's gonna be building for a year, so
Mhm.
plenty of time for big rains. The
Yeah.
other thing is, if he's putting in a lot of impervious surface, that right now, his other buildings, those parking lots run to what is now this open dirt field.
Mhm.
And it's time to get rid of that water and let it seep in. Now, you're gonna keep the blacktop running all the way down to Jessup Switch, and now you're into the blacktop.
Mhm.
And so a stormwater basin system whereby it pools some of this water and contaminants, and it is, first of all, it's blacktop, it's a oil-based, material. Cars, trucks, fluids that get dumped on the ground, we don't want those washed into the,
Right.
into the black dirt. So I'd like to see the stormwater management plan, if you will.
Yeah, and that should also include questions about, snow and, salt in there going into it.
Oh, man, I wasn't even thinking of that. Yep.
Okay, last page of that report, we were working off of, they talk about it being a principal aquifer, which is just one more reason why we should be concerned about any stormwater runoff over this property. Because it is a principal aquifer, meaning that a lot of people could be impacted by that.
Mhm.
There's a lot of people getting water from there, there's also a lot of people farming there.
Yes.
They also indicate there's 3 species of threatened or endangered species.
Northern long-eared bat?
No, it's not.
He's
That's
not
what-
even in there?
No, the bats
Oh, it
aren't
was
even
the-
there.
It was the funny owl. There was an owl?
There was an owl, a short-eared owl, and I never heard of that one before. So I don't know what that means as far as what impacts it has or what you have to worry about.
Uh-huh.
The northern harrier, I think we have had before, and I think that basically means you can't do clearing there during the winter. Because I think that they hunt there during the winter. Anybody remember that? I
When
think
you
it
say-
does.
You're saying clearing, you're talking about clearing trees?
Clear fields, doing
Fields,
field
okay.
work or whatever.
Because this is an open field.
Right. No, it has to do with the fields because they apparently they hunt for their prey in the fields during the winter.
Okay,
I think that's true.
okay.
And then the other one I don't know anything else about, which is another new one, is the upland sandpiper. So I think,
Sandpiper, great movie. Really that old?
yeah. So anyhow, I think that usually the U.S. Fish and Wildlife used to supply little booklets or whatever on these as to what you have to watch for, what you can't do, that you can do. So that should be submitted as part of the application, I think.
Mhm.
And the last thing is there's listing archaeological sites. I would have thought we would have done this on the last one, but at this point in time, nevertheless, they need to have a sign off by SHPO. State Historic Preservation
Yep.
Office, okay.
Thank you.
I knew nobody's gonna know what that means.
Gonna find a mastodon in there.
You know what, it could be.
That's where you find them.
Mastodons, pterodactyls,
Mhm.
you name it, it's been found down there. It's
I
kinda
feel
neat.
like one myself. So.
Okay, anything else on this?
That was it for me.
Oh, question.
Go ahead.
The trees that were put in there way back when they did the first buildings and stuff like
Yep.
that, what's the state of them or
The answer is, I know I've heard that the town's getting some complaints, I'm not sure of the extent of those complaints. I think that Frank was certainly made aware of it at the planning board meeting,
okay,
and so I would expect Frank to respond. I really thought that the trees were planted, I don't know,
oh yeah, I'm sure they were, the question is.
Well, they survived, right,
How
and
many
then-
did they plant? How
and
many-
so I don't know that answer.
Okay, something to check into.
Okay, but yeah, Frank is certainly was made aware of it at the last meeting.
Good.
And so, let's go back to the expansion of Jessup Switch. The question there was whether or not he should bond that road expansion at the beginning, or whether he should build it first. And I don't know, sure it really matters to us. I think one of the things that have been happening lately is that a lot of developers are building the roads first,
Yeah,
so they don't have to go ahead and bond them. It's cheaper to go ahead, if you bond it, it's like buying insurance. And you're paying 10% or more of the cost of the construction every year until it's done. So rather than paying that 10% for the bond every year, they have found it cheaper to just go ahead and build it, and have to build it anyhow, and I'll save that 10%.
as long as it meets the municipalities or the state requirements. and stuff.
Yeah, so when they build that road or expand on that road, certainly the town's gonna have somebody out there. I would guess it's gonna be Broderick and somebody else,
Yeah,
you know, an engineer or whatever, and they're probably gonna do compaction, this, that, the other thing. Make sure that the soil underneath it is good enough, and
yeah,
then go from there. But I think in the past, the developers have been leaning towards doing the work ahead of time, rather than bonding it and then doing it at the end. The other thing is, otherwise, at the end, you sit there with a completed building and you haven't done the road, so we don't issue the CO.
yeah. The only thing is, like if it's in a development, a residential development, they put it in and then the trucks all the construction and all that stuff start driving over it, I mean, they could really
Sure.
beat that up. I mean,
So what does happen usually in developments is that they do everything except the top coat.
Okay,
And
then
then they come back in and do the final stuff
Okay.
at the very end.
that makes sense.
At the last planning board meeting, after some heated discussion, the applicant did say, fine, I'll do it, I'll put the road in, so I thought that was a done deal, he was gonna do it
I
up front.
certainly heard that, but I'm not sure.
Okay.
That's,
What was said in the moment might not.
That's right.
Okay, I get it.
okay, but I hope so.
Okay.
I really think it's gonna be cheaper that way if we did.
Mhm.
Anything else? Okay, let's move on to Mid-Hudson Forensic Psychiatric Center. Okay, this is the second time I think we've had it. We all know what a psych center is, and what they're proposing to do is do a subdivision there. Apparently, it's kind of interesting, the O&R, the utility, is forcing them to do a subdivision because they won't give them 2 meters on the same property still. And they're doing that entire new unit. Supposedly, the plan right now is for that new unit to move everybody from the old unit over to the new unit, and then just leave the old unit sitting there
No,
with
nothing.
with no use planned for right now.
What?
The reason they didn't just work on that is because there's asbestos in there. What I was told 5-6 years ago. There's asbestos in there, it's too much, cost to do all the asbestos abatement and everything else. The reason they're doing a new unit is because, the rooms are substandard in that. There's a lot of substandard stuff compared to the new standards. So they're moving everybody over to the new unit, and they're gonna close that down. No plans for it now. And so they're just gonna be a vacant buildings at this point.
Till they decide to tear it down or can,
Or somebody ends up coming in and buying it for some other use.
So Neil, they want 3 lots, correct?
Right, and what the claim is that, on the one side of the road, as you're going out towards Middletown, on the one side of the road is the new one and the old one,
Yep.
and they wanna split those apart. So we have one lot there, 2 lots over there,
Yep.
and on the other side of the road, south of 17M, is another lot that is, it is by natural subdivision, we consider it a lot automatically. There is no subdivision needed for it.
Okay.
But it gets strange in this case because the other side right now is the part that has their sewer plant.
Okay.
So they are sending, right now, all their, even though, after they have the subdivision, or consider it a subdivision, they will have a sewer plant over there they still need right now until they hook up to something else that they ever do.
So normally, I mean, this is the state, so this gets murky.
We have never had the state ever come in for anything before.
I went past it today, and I'm looking at this building, and it's a monster.
Yes.
And I'm thinking, the state is inspecting that, right? Normally, our building
Yes.
inspector would go out and watch a project, but on this project, it's a state, our
Right.
buildings department is out.
Right, and what happens is any larger form of government takes over their own thing. So we
Yeah.
don't generally inspect county buildings, we don't generally inspect
Okay.
state buildings.
Okay, now, if this was not the state, and an applicant wanted to subdivide their property, wouldn't we require water testing and a perk test on each lot?
Or we would require that they can document that they have water and sewer available.
Ah,
You know, if we don't want, if you're in the middle of a sewer water district, we don't need you to do perk tests and everything else.
okay, and I understand that currently the psych center has their own.
Water and sewer,
It has their
yes.
own water and sewer.
Yes.
Does that water and sewer, do we know if that has enough capacity to serve these other 2 lots? Even though they're going to move their entire operation from old lot to new lot, do we have the ability to say, that's okay, we don't need the,
I have been told, I brought that question up last meeting, and Sean made it very clear that he thought that they did not have to prove that.
okay,
I'm not quite sure why, because at the end of this, when they move to the other building, and they are so off their own wells, that they stay on their own wells, I have heard that the sewer plant anyhow can take on double that amount of flow. So I don't know what happens then. The state would have to figure that out, I guess, unless somebody else buys it, in which case the use thing comes back to us anyhow, maybe.
I'm just wondering how this is even in the town at this point, since it's all state and we don't have the ability to make them.
Yeah, I agree 100%. Like I said,
Is the town of Goshen just rubber stamping this? And if that's the case, that's fine, I've never seen a state project.
I think the answer is, we should never rubber stamp anything, but
Okay,
Well, I'm wondering if they're just, is it courtesy? Like, they're just informing us of what's gonna happen, and then if we spot something, like we would advise them that we spotted something, and then they may or may not take action?
race left. I really don't know. Like I said, I've never ever had the state come in, or even the county come in for any approvals. Obviously, they don't have to comply with our zoning code or our, so I don't know exactly what we can enforce. I really thought, the two questions I had were certainly water, sewer, and then access to the 17M. I just wanted to confirm that both the old parcel and the new parcel would have access, and I think it does. But I'm not sure.
So the purpose of the subdivision is predominantly for O and R?
That's what I've been told, that they, O&R is not letting the state do a subdivision or hook up another whole meter to the new building.
And what's
So
the
we
reason
have some-
behind
you
it?
seen this question?
What's the reason?
I don't know.
Only reason I could figure is that if they're just gonna shut down the other building, then maybe someday if someone else buys it,
Sure.
it'll already be there, but it won't be part of the other building.
Yeah, but I don't know why, I thought, like, when you go to apartment complexes, there are frequently meters for each unit.
Mhm.
So I don't know why there's, but anyhow, it's going through this way.
You were asking about access to 17. It has two means of access. It looks like the one they're gonna tap into the old, the road that's currently there.
Right,
And then
that's
this
for the
one-
new unit, right.
This one swoops around and it empties, this is River Road and
Right.
17, it's right there, I mean.
No, the new parcel, I understand completely how
Uh-huh.
it has that, and, you know, that road is part of the agreement when the state gave the town the property for River Road.
Uh-huh.
What I don't quite understand is what's left for the other other subdivision, or the other parcel, what their access is, and I think there's.
So they've got this road that comes down this side.
Yep,
They've got this.
well, yeah, but this is going across the new parcel.
Is this parking lot's part of this parcel?
No.
No, here's the line,
That's
here's the
subdivision, right, yeah,
Okay, so they would use this road to the outside.
that's the only one they could.
So that's a single point ingress egress.
Right,
Really?
which at least according to
So
state
this
fire
would be
code.
removed then? It looks,
I-
I mean,
I suspect not. I don't know where they're gonna put a whole bunch of parking spaces otherwise. I think for right now, the state's probably gonna use all the parking spaces over there, even though it's a different parcel.
Well, they just built this lot, right? There's
They-
just a little lot
they
up here.
did some of it, yep.
They just built that whole lot out.
But there was talk of them removing the lot when the construction was done. And
Sure, they'd wanna put a lot over here, yep.
It would make more sense that, from the point of view of, but I don't know.
But to Carol's point, this lot, these buildings need to be maintained, they need to be heated, they need to be cooled, you don't wanna lose the roof.
To
you
the
don't wanna
degree,
lose
to the
windows.
degree you have to do it just for to preserve the building,
Okay,
yes.
but if some applicant came to the state and said, we'd like to build this, we'd like to buy
I'd like
this
to buy it from
property,
you, yes.
and we'd like to fill it with people, you now have water and sewer here, water and sewer here.
Well, you have water and sewer on the new lot. You may or may not have water and sewer on the old one. You have pipes, but I'm not sure you have any water or sewer capacity.
Well, that's what I'm saying, is right now, they have their own water and sewer system.
Right.
And according to Mr. Hoffman, once we take all the people out of this and we put them into the new one, right? So you're shifting the water with them.
Sure, certainly the same amount of water is gonna be used, same water and sewer is gonna be moved over to the new.
And I'll go with that, but that means that if somebody wants to occupy the original lot,
It's an unknown,
we don't know.
right.
So wouldn't the town require, show me that you can get water and sewer onto all the properties, or drop those buildings, in which case, when an applicant comes in and wants to put new buildings in, we deal with them then, do you have water and sewer? But the reason they don't wanna drop the buildings is it's too expensive because of the asbestos abatement.
Mhm.
It's a mess, Neil.
Yeah, I think But I think that the state is willing to take the risk right now
Okay,
and say, hey, we realize we don't have enough water and sewer to work both parcels. However, we have no intention of using the other parcel. At the point where that is converted over to some other use, if it ever does, then the state selling it or the state using it for some other use, or the new applicant would have to get approval and document that they have water and sewer.
it seems to me that we're pushing the question down the road as opposed to answering it today. Do you have enough water and sewer to handle both lots? And if the town required that, that's it, we're good for the future. By not requiring that, we're making this somebody else's headache in the future. That property's not gonna stay unused forever. 50 years, whatever it is from now, it'll be used. And as I said, you're still gonna leave water in that system, just to maintain the building.
Sure, there's probably sprinklers in there, in which case you
Yeah.
have to maintain it for the
Has
sprinkler
to be,
system.
so do you have enough water for all of that? And, once again, I don't know that we can make the state tell us anything, but if this wasn't the state, I would be jumping up and down saying, no, you need to show me water and sewer for these subdivided lots.
Yep.
But it's the state, so,
Well, I think the answer we're running with right now is that, since they're saying they have absolutely no intention to use that property, after they move out of it, therefore, we're treating it like it's going to be a vacant land. It's gonna be a
Well,
vacant
this
use.
has been vacant for a long time.
Right, it was vacant forever.
Yeah, and governments generally tend to hold on to stuff, and I would imagine they would hold on to the land, but like you're saying, we don't know.
you don't know. And I'm saying, instead of saying, we'll worry about that later, no, why can't we worry about it right now? And find out, do we have the water? At least we'll know. And as I said, short of raising those buildings to the dirt, that's a building and it's currently occupied, it can be occupied, and some group of very interested high-density housing people are gonna be interested in that property.
Well, and there's a number of uses. I mean, in the past, we've had, well, take the other psych center over in Middletown itself, has a number of other uses
Uh-huh.
now. But yeah,
Yeah.
it can be repurposed. And it's either gonna be repurposed at some point in time, if people can make it worthwhile.
Maybe we could put our battery storage in there, so when it burns down.
Don't stir it up, John. Too early in the evening to stir that pot.
All right.
Oh, I like
So,
you. I like you. There you go.
Definitely kidding.
I think the recognition's gonna be that, for right now, we're taking the state at its word that they're going to not be using that property. Therefore, there is no worry about the sewer water usage as currently proposed.
This one I might disagree with you on.
No, I don't, you know.
I want to, I don't, and you know what, if you're saying we have no intention to, that's not the same as we will never. No intention to means something, I can change my mind, right now, I don't know.
Sure, there are no plans.
And I'm just, again, we're kicking this problem down the road for somebody else to deal with. And by the way, in 50 years from now, they'll be talking about, they should have handled this in 2026.
Yes.
Yeah,
I
but the
mean,
amount of money it's going to take to rehab that whole building, it's gonna be a while.
Well, it would take money to rehab it, to use it as the mental health facility. But there are groups of people who will take that building as is.
So depending on what the use is gonna be, you could use it as is
They
possibly.
wouldn't do a thing.
So
There
therefore,
are
we're not
groups
gonna
of
disturb
people,
the,
there are groups of people that don't need running water and have been evicted because they were living in buildings with no running water. This is a palace. And so, hey, I'd like to see the buildings dropped or repurposed or something.
certainly, the town has to be aware of it and has to certainly be aware of what we allow there zoning wise in the future, if it's sold.
A novice question.
Yep.
If there's not enough water and that comes back, wouldn't that change the value of the land? That
Sure.
somebody buying it in the future, wouldn't they wanna know that? And so
Yeah.
it kind
Yeah.
of preclude it from being developed. It's not like they're gonna develop it and then discover we don't have the water for it.
Certainly, and obviously, from our point of view, I would hope that maybe we could put a note on the plans or a note on the deed that this has not been approved for any other use if the subdivision.
Because of a lack of water.
Because we have never considered that.
Right.
Grace, I'm sorry. Do you know anything more about this center?
Which one?
The psych center? Why it is that we're not looking at water and sewer for there?
We don't have to, because it's a state. We're just doing the subdivision, that's
Okay.
all we're responsible for.
Okay.
From what I'm told by Sean,
No, I agree with you.
yeah.
I agree that that's what I've been told
Yeah.
also,
Yeah.
and I don't quite understand it, but that is what we're being.
It's just like anything else, like you said, like a county building, if it's something that's the county, we don't look at anything other than
So
what we
anyhow,
asked to
at least
do.
Grace and I agree with each other that this is what we're being told.
Anything with like BOCES, we don't do anything, we don't, any jurisdiction under BOCES either. If BOCES is doing any kind of construction, we don't do anything for BOCES.
School districts as
School-
well?
no,
School districts are true, but actually, BOCES is not a school district, it's a weird animal.
Don't confiscate things.
BOCES is not a school district. They
Okay.
get money from school districts, but they are actually, not a school
Then it
district.
seems to me this is performative, that we're just, the town, just go ahead, chop this piece of property up, it's gonna be owned by the state, and it's a them problem.
I think,
Oh, okay.
I think that you understand what we're being told.
If,
I don't think, I don't know
as I
that
said,
any of us are agreeing with what you understand.
if it wasn't the state property, I'd be jumping up and down about water and sewer.
Yep.
But because it's a unicorn,
I
we'll deal with it that way.
I jumped up and down at the last planning board meeting and was
Okay.
shut down.
Okay.
All right, anything else on Sac Center?
Nothing else from me?
All right, good, let's go with, Big Sky Farm Notion there. Everybody know what we're talking about?
New name.
Yeah, yep, it is the first for us. This is the property that is between the driving range and around the back of a hacienda.
They were supposed to put in like 15 or 17 houses.
Yeah, look, a while back,
Quite
what was the
long.
name of the farmer who had that? He also had Heritage Estates, all that farmland too, right?
Talmadge?
No, not
Yeah,
that, no.
You did see this one?
Yeah. I
Ended up
walked-
moving down
I drove-
off of
I
Sawyer,
drove by
down by
that
Sawyer's
house.
Peak.
So this is the plan that's online, and they don't have it.
Yeah.
I forget the name of the farm, but anyhow, yes, he was gonna do it there. At the time, he was coming through. There was a talk of there was no water there.
Yeah.
Now, the applicant believes that there's gobs of water. To the tune of, they're proposing 96 senior housing units and 186, I think, room hotel with a restaurant.
Where exactly is this?
It's exactly, you know the driving range?
Yeah.
17M.
Yeah.
Starting there, between 17M and the Heritage Trail, and it goes all the way up, and it goes behind the hacienda, all the way over to the properties that are on Virginia Lake. Okay, it's fairly big, I don't know if I have signs,
Is that
47.
the property of the road that goes down where the little cows, where that old house was there that got sold? And it bends around and goes into Chester?
No,
No.
I know the one you mean, no, that's between 17M and 17, is
Yeah.
that the one? Yeah, that's still up, so maybe, no, this,
That's the hacienda,
Correct.
and then,
This is Hacienda.
yeah. And this is this is Match Point Sports over here,
Okay.
okay?
Where is the driving range?
Driving range right here, yep, this is the driving range property right here.
So the driving range backs right up onto that.
Yeah, it does, yep,
that's hacienda, this is the property, right?
yeah,
That's the driving range.
yep.
Can you see this from the road? Is this a proposed road?
Yeah, it's a proposed road.
Huh.
Currently, that 17M is tree lined right there, so you really can't see it, it's heavy foliage.
What you
but-
do see, what you may see is this barn right here, you can see
Yeah.
that, at the house, when you
Oh,
pull the
yeah,
house
yeah,
in.
yep, yep.
Yeah, that's part of that property.
Oh, so it's all in the back there.
Yeah.
You can't really see it.
No, you can't.
Mary lives there on that?
No, Mary does not live there.
But they bought it,
They bought the property several years ago.
they're using the barn, the house, is there anything?
I think the dwellings are rented out right now.
Okay,
The barn, I don't know if anything's going on there.
okay.
I know they used to have a small office facility there of their own, just real small.
Okay.
Less than, I'm gonna say 1/4 of this room maybe, besides that. And then there's also a landscaper's work, on the property too. He's not using the barn, maybe using the barn, otherwise he's using the property alongside the barn behind the hacienda.
Yeah, I don't like it at
60s.
all. And they're PACs, each one of these buildings?
That's, yeah, all 16, six buildings with
That
16
hasn't
units.
worked in the past.
What do you say it hasn't worked?
They built them and they got stuck, and they had to
In
change
the
them.
village of Goshen, you
Yeah.
had to put the
Yeah.
helmet hedge.
Mhm.
But they're attempting to get high-end customers.
Well, have you ever known anybody walking in and say, I want low end?
But there's a real demand for them.
Nobody comes in like that. I'm looking for the low end group. We just don't do that.
Okay.
So then the hotel is here,
The hotel's there, that's a proposed hotel.
then you're gonna see that on the road.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, you are gonna see that.
Now,
That just doesn't fit in there.
is it highway commercial?
It is highway commercial up front of the the front half of the
Yes.
property, then it's RU behind them there.
So the highway commercial allows up to 200, up to 40,000 square foot.
Footprint,
Yeah, and 45 feet high,
right.
and that's what that building is. It's 26,000, actually, 26,000 square foot, 45 foot high, so it actually meets the code, but I'll agree with you. Kind of gonna really stick out, because there's nothing else, well,
No,
there's nothing else there
like that,
yet.
it's very rural and very.
Yeah,
There's nothing
It's
like it right
nice.
there, except that if you were sitting over in Legoland, you could look from that hotel to this hotel.
yep. I mean, well, you got, you
I
know,
mean, I'm not trying to argue anything for or against, but, I mean, it's
Yeah.
come up that way. I do hear that there's a shortage of hotel rooms in the area.
Mhm.
I know that, probably 6 years ago now, maybe a little bit more, say 6 years ago, I looked for a hotel room in the middle of the winter, so I could take my grandchildren there to go swimming, and I had to go down to Mawa.
Oh,
Oh, wow.
Up here was absolutely stupid money, it was over $200 a night. Down in Mawa, you can get it for half that.
Yep.
And it had the swimming pool and everything down there. I mean, but yeah, so there's a shortage of transient occupancy spaces, and I think that Legoland has increased that shortage. You have any comments? Have you heard different?
No,
Yeah.
because I don't deal with any of the hotel stuff
Mhm.
in
Yeah.
Legoland.
I
But
can tell-
around here, I know that it gets pretty tight,
Yeah.
especially during events.
Mhm.
Anything going on in West Point, forget it.
West Point football games have a huge impact on.
Oh, yeah, you
On
get all
hotels.
filled up. And they built all those hotels right in Middletown, right in that little area.
Yeah.
You know, and they're like rocking and rolling up there.
they've added 6 properties in the past 7 or 8 years,
Yeah.
and they are almost always full during the summer. My business is, you know, a lot of people want to come and stay on the weekend, and you gotta make a few phone calls before you find a room if you're trying last minute, so, you know, look, nobody puts $1 million into a building until they know it's gonna work.
Yeah.
Some bean counter somewhere has it figured out.
And we still have Goshen Hospitality, who's planning on three hotels there.
yeah.
So apparently
Is
there's a
that
need
ever
for,
gonna happen?
I think they're sitting around waiting for water and sewer.
And also, I know like in California, some of the senior housing, they don't allow children to come and spend the night in the building.
Yeah.
And so the adjacent
Okay.
hotel may be.
Mhm.
for
That's
the-
what I was thinking when I looked at that, what, just have visitors just servicing that 55 and over community.
Yeah, that's interesting, I hadn't thought about that. Sorry.
You have,
No,
so
I
now you have a
haven't
built-in
heard that
audience.
before.
Yeah.
Yep.
I wasn't sure how
I
strict
mean,
they are.
whoever
for-
planned this
Not
was
even overnight.
thinking.
Yeah. I mean, there is a hotel there in Chester,
Mhm.
I forget which one
Oh,
it is.
Yeah.
man.
Yeah. But, I mean, it's not a very big property, so, again, some bean counters got it figured out, and
Do they know which chain or what
No.
kind of hotel or
No.
boutique hotel or what?
doesn't say.
No, there is.
Well, it'd be a high-end hotel, according to
That's-
this.
Yeah.
Well, otherwise, boutique sounds good too, but, no, I think, look,
This planned adult community here, those residences gonna be owned, leased, or rent?
yes, I don't think I don't think they really said.
I didn't read anywhere that they talked about the ownership.
Yeah, I don't think they did. I'm not sure that they intend to do the actual construction. I'm not sure how much they're gonna stay in after approvals.
No, okay, yeah.
Okay, I certainly got the feeling that come the hotel, they were not gonna stay in. The
No.
hotel was gonna be,
Yeah.
the hotel approval was gonna be marketed out, I thought,
Sure, makes sense.
but
So
I'm not
that-
sure.
On the long EAF they did between pages 4 and 5, to your point, they talked about water, and actually, it's the bottom of page 5, top of page 6, where they answer, will the proposed action use an existing public water treatment or facilities? They said no. And then at the top of page 6, do existing lines service the project site? They said no. But then the next question, will a line extension within an existing district be necessary to serve the project? They checked off both yes and no. Either they're confused or,
I think they're not confused, but I think what has to happen is that a planned adult community must be within a town water or sewer district,
okay.
either an existing one or a new one.
All right, so what would be the closest water district to them?
Closest water district is across 17.
What,
I
Arcadia
think-
Hills?
Yeah, that's the closest one.
Which,
I'm not sure they can get to there, but I think that,
But Arcadia has their own issues.
yes, but maybe this is a way to solve some of those issues.
sure, in fact, this one may have enough water on their property to actually assist Arcadia if they need more water on it. And in fact, if they go ahead over there, they probably drop it in the sewer line there and have it go all the way out and go out past Legoland again. But in any case, I think they're gonna have to either, obviously, they're gonna have to either extend out of one of the sewer water districts, which is only there, or actually, on this side of the road, they could do it up to Heritage maybe, but.
There's no way they could do, is there any way they could do this with well and septic?
Yeah,
They could? A
no,
project
I
that
think that
size?
they could do the well, I think they were planning on doing, at least with some of their wells, and then they could form their own sewer district, same as any subdivision does.
Right, it did say that they're gonna form their own transportation corporation, but,
Right, so, which doesn't solve the requirement under a PACS. The PACS are under, what, 9741F, I think, is where we talk about PACS.
okay.
And that's where this special stuff, you have to be part of the sewer water district. Now, is a town's either existing,
John wants to know what a PAC is.
planned adult community.
Cigarettes, right?
Adult community.
Yeah, I'm sorry.
I didn't know what it was, so I figured
No,
planned adult
yes.
community.
Oh.
Feel free to throw me under the bus.
Hold me on that, yes. Do not let me slide on that, none of us. We get
Okay.
sloppy about that.
Planned adult community.
Right.
Okay. Well, from the environmental point of view, I would be quite concerned about where you get the water from and where's the sewer going, because on a project of this size, especially the hotel,
Yep.
we need answers better than what's on the EAF.
Sure, and certainly I have told the applicant, they can listen to me, not, before I spent any more money, I would go ahead and confirm I have water.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
If I'm gonna try to pump it in, and I know they said they think they have an overabundance of water,
Okay.
but nevertheless, I would go ahead and do the testing through our protocols so that we agree that they have the water. Certainly Heritage Estates, I don't know if many of you remember, John probably does. Heritage Estates came in that had 100 and something units and couldn't find the water for it
Yeah.
and backed it down to whatever they have now, I think 80 something.
Okay.
So yes, we have had projects back down numbers because they could not find enough water.
And the same issue that Arcadia has with the manganese in the water,
Yeah.
I would imagine this area has the same. So when they do build out their transportation corporation, they need a green sand system or something to filter it correctly.
Probably so, yeah.
Otherwise, they're in the same exact boat. It's,
Yeah, probably, yeah, I think there's gonna be issues certainly, I think, and I would take care of water before I start designing anything for
okay.
it.
And again, I think if the town, if it's possible to get something out of them, if they're going to build this community, tie it in with Arcadia and make the entire area stronger, I think that's the way to do it. The town did just receive a $1.8 million grant, but they need 3 to put the green sand into Arcadia, so, you know, they're still looking for another 1.2 million, which unfortunately I don't have. And just, you know, a project like this coming along could be a godsend. That's all I have.
Yeah. John? John? Harold? Right, Dave?
I'm good.
The other,
Oh, well,
go ahead.
as a novice to this, what, like, when you put something big like that in, you know, like we were talking stormwater runoff
Yep.
and stuff like that, I mean, this is just cars, but it still impacts the environment around it. Is there any consideration?
Yeah, and certainly we do get into that, and certainly to the extent you start talking about, one of the biggest impacts right away would be something like salt.
Snow removal,
I mean, certainly, I don't know if you remember, on the old CBS Plaza, they used to store their salt for the snow plowing behind the building, and it killed out all the trees. So we do have issues like that, and we do worry about that. We do worry about runoff off of the parking lots having oil in them or something like that. So we start looking at that. And so there's a whole thing with the stormwater as to, first, it has to go here first, second, third. So there's a process, though it still is not a wonderful answer all the time.
Yeah. I mean, water and sewer, I mean, if you don't have that, you don't have to worry about the rest.
There you go.
Yeah. I mean, I think the sewer side is relatively easy, you can treat it, they plan on putting their own package plant there, kind of.
I keep hearing about these package plants. I gotta go see one first.
Yeah, I'm, whatever, they plan on putting their own plant on site.
Okay.
Right now, we have another one like that, Riegers is still like that, but I'm not sure what they're gonna do.
Well, how big can a building get in septic's okay, and then you have to switch to?
It's a flow.
It's
So, I could have a very large office building and get away with it still, but a hotel or a apartment's not so much. Okay, again, when I have like an office building, it's only 15 gallons a day per person. So actually, I can have 30 people working there, and it's just about the same impact as a house. Not quite, but close.
Yeah.
As opposed to when I have 96 apartment or units for planned adults, and then I have 186 units in
That's a
the.
lot of flow.
That's a lot of flow.
People taking showers.
Yep. And then so certainly the question with the hotel's gonna be, is it gonna be water, a swimming pool in there? And they're talking about having a restaurant in there, and they're also talking about having an event space
In the hotel?
in the hotel.
How big is that, square footage wise gonna be?
What was it, 26?
26,000 square feet.
How many rooms?
That's 26,000 square feet is the footprint,
Footprint, but it's obviously
and it's all floors, right?
It's 2 stories, yeah.
3 stories probably.
3 stories.
45 feet, they're gonna try to get 3 stories out of it.
45, yeah.
Okay.
Oh, I
Yeah.
don't know if that'd be a full 3 stories,
I think at the residential side or the sleeping room side, you could, in the ballroom side or the event side, you're gonna have a taller ceiling, I think.
Yeah.
All right, I think there's a couple other things, one thing odd or unique for packs is that you're not allowed to build a pack on existing slopes of 15 degrees or more. And I don't know if they took that into account, there's no indication that the plans looked at that.
That's before construction?
Before construction, right,
Mm.
yeah.
They just can't cut the hill.
No, that's not what's allowed according to the code.
For any project or just
No, for packs. What happened, we had a pack one time was gonna be, where Goshen Hospitality was gonna be.
Yeah.
Yeah, build into the
Yeah,
hill.
And right, we really basically were saying, look, if somebody's in a wheelchair, they're gonna go from the top to the bottom really fast.
Yeah, but John was just saying, if you can't just level the ground? You can't move the mountain, if you will? All that matters is it's flat when you're done.
I understand what you're saying, and the answer is no, not according to our code.
Okay, I didn't see that coming, but all right.
No, it's rather, and it came because of that one that I'm talking about. It was right there where Goshen Hospitality was gonna be.
I could totally see that you can't have it constructed and have these steep slopes once it's constructed. I'm saying you can't start with a steep slope, even it out, and now everything's level when
Well,
it's all
the
built out.
trouble with that one there, and I think it was a response from that one, is that you were gonna come down instead, it was gonna be like terraced. So you couldn't get a handicapped person from the top terrace to the bottom terrace,
Okay,
because you couldn't do enough, grading.
okay.
Now, and I think it was a response to that proposal that really happened. Remember
I
John
can
was
see
called
it.
Handler, right?
Handler.
Yeah.
That's right.
Yeah.
Yep.
God, ask me what I had for breakfast,
Oh, yeah.
Anyhow.
Long-term memory's good, it had to be 15 years ago.
Oh, more than that, more than that, it was a long time ago. So yeah, so there has to be 15-degree slopes or less. They had a thing in there with constrained lands that was over 25%. I didn't see anything discussing 15-degree slopes. It didn't look like it really fast in the plans. Now, the other thing I had a concern about was lot number 1.
The hotel,
No, that lot number 1 is the
That's-
existing everything.
okay.
They're showing at least 3 dwelling buildings. I'm not so sure whether that's 3 dwellings or 2 family dwellings possibly. So I might have more than, I have at least 3 dwellings on that property,
Existing?
existing. Yeah, that parcel they're proposing for is only existing uses. So they're saying that's what it's gonna be, is the existing there only. And they showed 3 existing dwellings, but I'm not sure how many dwelling units are in there. There wasn't, one of the buildings was that, I think listed as a dwelling now, was built as or renovated as an office. I don't know whether they converted that over to dwelling, or whether it's in addition to. And then the other thing they would keep talking about is the barn. They really like the barn, and the barn is nice, and it looks kind of nice, but they're talking about using it for something. And if they're gonna use it for something, it needs to be considered in the lot size for lot number 1. And then it also needs to be considered when they do water testing. And I'm not sure, when they're doing this subdivision, certainly for lot 1, certainly the amount of water being used there has to be considered in the overall project, I would think.
It was probably a dairy barn, so it had to have water once upon a time.
Yeah,
But the thing is, if it's just gonna be storage now and not animals of any kind.
Yep, and now, I don't think they're talking about being animals in there. I think the building's not gonna go for animals. They're talking about possibly,
Thinking of Ben?
some kind of, well, maybe an event thing, otherwise some kind of retail or something.
Oh, okay.
You know, it has kind of a quaint look, and you can picture it would,
It's all the rage right
it
now.
would go, yeah, it would. An event space for there even would be also interesting. But that barn has no use being identified in terms of traffic, in terms of water, in terms of sewer. The only spot I see any sewer being designed right now or being proposed is back on lot 3. Yep. On lot number 3, the new one, they have a sewer treatment plant back there. So I'm not sure whether each lot's gonna have their own sewer treatment. In which case, lot number 1's gonna have its own septic there for all those uses, which would include the barn, I guess. And then lot number 1, the new hotel, is gonna have their own there, and I don't know that. But I don't see it being designed there or a spot there for it, really. If they're gonna have their own water and sewer. So they either have to come up with for right now, a transportation corporation of some sort, or they're gonna have to propose some kind of district for the whole thing.
I mean, the property does border, this is Black Meadow Creek, so the package plant would dump into that with a SWIP. Or
Yep.
Right, the package plant cleans the
Yeah.
water and it.
Yeah, I think it's gonna go, I think they're proposing, judging on where it's cited, I think they're proposing, like, starting their own new stream from there down.
Okay, I did find on the EAF, the slopes, and it's, it looks like 35% of the property is 10 to 15% more, so it's a very,
Yeah, so,
it's
yeah,
a very hilly area.
Yeah.
yeah, it is. So the real question there is whether or not it's gonna be where they're gonna try to put the houses out. I mean, we don't really care. It's
Roads,
too-
right, you care
it's-
about the, yes,
Right,
okay.
so I think it's, the pack can't be built on over 50%. Okay, then there's also, right now I know there's a landscaper yard right there, and it happens to be right behind the hacienda and to the right of the, or to the east of the barn. And again, it's just a matter that there's a use on the property that that has to be considered when we overall look at, is 7 acres good enough for that parcel? Or does it need to be bigger?
Okay.
And there's also a metal frame garage there that, there's nothing wrong with it. I'm not making anything, saying anything is wrong. I'm just looking, depending on what they're gonna be used for or whatever, the size of that lot being 7 acres may not be adequate. Are you had something you want to add?
Is there, this here,
It's
is,
17A.
no, all these here, is
Oh.
this, like a tree line?
No,
or
that's all that's showing is that's the
The
setback.
buffer?
No buffer, that's a setback.
There is no buffer then.
There is no buffer right
So the
now.
hotel will be in full view on that road, even
Yeah.
though that's a scenic overlay?
Is it a scenic road? Is it a scenic?
It says 100-foot scenic road corridor overlay.
All right, so that is significant then.
Yeah,
There's no way to hide that building.
100 foot,
No.
no, scenic road overlay sounds like, 17M doesn't sound right at 100 feet.
well, no, I know. But you're also, like,
Get out of here.
all right, back here, it's gonna be different because it's really not gonna be as visible.
Right, back there's a different zoning or
But
whatever it
this
is.
is different. Because it says, town of Goshen regulation aim to keep buildings below treetops on bridges.
Okay, that's a different answer now. Now you're in that one.
Requiring structures to be tucked behind vegetation or hills
Right.
to avoid protruding above the crest lines, especially when viewed from public areas using existing topography and trees for screening.
Absolutely, and that is a different question from the scenic road overlay. And that goes anywhere in any part. So it's our rich top development law. It says basically, when you build something, you have to be below the tree line or below the ridge line. So you can't be at the, in general, you can't be at the top of the ridge and then now add to that.
Even if the road is down here,
Well-
the houses are up there.
Right, that is correct.
That's-
Yeah,
Now,
hacienda definitely is on top of the whole.
well, except that the hacienda is right there,
Yeah.
so you're looking right there. The trouble with this maybe is that we'd be down there, and it's from public places, so in general, that's gonna be parks or stuff like that.
Heritage Trail.
Heritage Trail is
Yeah.
certainly gonna be it, and possibly you might consider, the driving range to be a public place. Certainly the public gathering area, but otherwise it's from roads or streets.
Yeah.
So that is gonna be a question. I think that legitimately, you can talk about 17M and Cross Road and Knoll Road and Craigville Road.
Mhm.
No, Old Chester Road, I'm sorry. But I think that Virginia Lane would not count because Virginia Lane's looking straight out to it, I think.
Yeah,
But that's gonna be a decision for,
that's
Frank,
something
at some
else,
point.
if we can get by all these other concerns
Yeah.
here. Is there any possibility for them to switch the planned adult community down and put the
yeah,
scale
this
higher?
they just started on this. So nothing is written in stone here at all.
It is in
From
the scenic
where this
overlay.
is here,
It
I
is?
don't
All right,
think
that's
this
what I
is
was looking
gonna
for,
be
okay.
visible from the road.
No, that's what I'm saying.
All right, how far back is that scenic road overlay?
Probably
Pretty big.
slope.
We have to look at, let's look at the code. The code's what's gonna
I
count.
wouldn't have a
I mean,
problem down
this
there.
is the
'cause
overlay map, so all the green
Right.
is the scenic
Right.
overlay, and we're in this area here, right? And, that's all hashed out green.
And that's, you're not supposed to build in that area?
Well, it has,
Restrictions.
restrictions, because it's a scenic overlay, right? We're trying to preserve the,
And where'd you get that? It's on,
that's on the town board.
Town board? Okay.
Town board, go under town, planning, maps and overlays.
All right, here we go. Scenic road overlay is lying within 800 feet of the right-of-way of New York State's 17M, 17A.
Wow.
800 feet,
800,
800 feet.
So like the entire,
that's not.
That's the
That's
entire
beautiful.
commercial district, I think, roughly. So yes, let's make, so they have to worry about the scenic road overlay,
So then why do they have a 100-foot scenic road corridor overlay?
because they made a mistake.
Oh,
I think it should be, the 100 foot should be, the setback. 800 feet does not mean you can't build in there. Site plan approval required, construction of any subject greater than 5. So there are restrictions, and all this is coming out of 9729. And I'm not gonna cover it all tonight, probably. Will not result in the degradation of the scenic character and or will be aesthetically compatible with the surroundings.
which this is not.
Will minimize the removal of native vegetation except where such removal may be necessary to open up a scenic view or panorama. You have to minimize the visibility from the road and will comply with the requirements of subsections G and J below. Landscaping, architecture, fences, rural siting principles, okay. So, there's a lot of restrictions on it.
Mhm.
So everything, and certainly the plan should show the 800-foot scenic road corridor.
I don't know how you're gonna build in the highway commercial with that scenic overlay. That's all variances. There's just no way you're getting.
No, I mean, well.
That's a tough argument too, because if the hotel's built here, you know, somebody could bring up that crazy sports center that they built down there.
Yeah,
across
I mean,
the
that
street
sticks right out.
Well,
There's no,
With the
there's no
crazy
hiding it.
windows.
Yeah.
Sure.
I mean,
However,
doesn't even fit in.
the crazy windows is you know what building they're talking about.
Oh, yeah?
Where you going? The one with the crazy building,
Yep.
windows, yep, I know it. No, so you're right, but I'm not so sure that the crazy windows building wasn't put in there before we changed the zoning.
Well, it could be.
All right, but,
On the other hand,
the other way to do
I
it,
mean,
you could do it.
if it's a nice hotel, if it's like more of a boutique hotel, which I don't know if this is gonna be that.
if you make it look like a farmhouse, that blends in with the.
You know
You
who
know, like
did,
down in Warwick, they have pretty strict regulations
Super
on
strict.
how you, like the Dunkin' Donuts.
Yeah.
That they came in, it had to be
same with the Burger,
fitting.
yeah, same with the Burger King.
Yeah, it had to look nice,
Hey,
it had to look like the village.
You know who did a relatively good job of that was Goshen Hospitality. Look at their visual stuff.
Very good.
Yeah.
They did a relatively good job of making it look like it belongs here more.
Owning it, or the mansion they wanna put in down here, Ontario, that's, also looks very colonial. You know,
Mhm.
I look at that and I'm saying, wow, I can see, 1800 Goshen,
I'm really on board with that. I
All
hope
right,
they do.
let's not.
They do that.
talk
I
something
know,
that-
but still.
All right, so.
All right, well,
But I think that certainly the scenic road overlay becomes an issue. Yes, they can, I think they can try to address it, they're gonna have to address it, period. I think they can get close to it or whatever.
because this is not, 17M past, Tool Factory. This is 17M that's very rural. I mean, like, you come
Right, it's
down
on-
into, look, Ted Talmadge's place is
Yeah.
No,
the most picturesque, beautiful farm in the county.
that's right.
Oh,
The
And-
county ought to buy that up just so people drive past it.
oh my goodness, yeah.
But yeah, so they're gonna have to come up with it. They're gonna have to make it look right. Or they should be turned down.
Okay.
Okay? Anything else on Big Sky Farm?
Nothing from me.
Not for now.
All right. Let's go on to SOS event parking. Everybody know what we're talking about on this Hartley Road? Right opposite where Amy's Kitchen is their property in Verhaeghe. It's gonna be on the opposite side of the road there. Going out from there behind Higbee and then down to the Heritage Trail.
It's long there, isn't it?
Yeah, in fact, Rick Florio said at the town board meeting that it's all wet in there.
This is Signs of the Souls, and this is Amy's Kitchen, which is not coming in. And so SOS, they bring in 12,000
Yeah,
people
drove
on
through.
one weekend a year. And they
They have a
go
pavilion and
into, they
Yeah,
own this
you wanna
one,
go
and
there
then
sometime?
they use this for parking, and then shuttle them
Yeah.
over. And now they're saying they wanna sell that and instead turn this into 936
You could-
parking lots.
You can get in there from Echo Lake Road, right?
No,
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 how do you get
you
in?
told Signs of the Soul,
Hmm.
the entrance by the site center.
That's River Road, they put
That's-
that road
yeah.
in.
Yeah.
You,
Yeah.
I thought they were supposed to have an entrance off.
Oh, that's
the road.
emergency only.
It's emergency only. There's one there, but it's, yeah, it's gated.
Oh, wow. I didn't know that.
Yeah. All right, go ahead.
Well, I did look at this, and the town clerk, Mary Rizzo, did actually send us an email to say that the town board is specifically asking us for input on this, because it does need a special permit. It's not permitted by code, so it needs a special permit, right, Neil?
Yeah, it's, what it is that if it's not permitted, if it's not a permitted use in any of our zones, but it's also not a prohibited use, then the town board can give it a special permit.
So the applicant did make made a presentation to the planning or town? They made it to planning.
I was gonna say, that maybe they made both.
And so, yeah, I know, they blur in for me too on the meetings. But the original plan was they were gonna use Storm Farm over on Owens Road.
Storms,
They-
yeah.
Right, mow that down tight,
Sure.
park there, shuttle people over, cause they
Yeah.
do this once a year, they have 12,000 people come in for their jamboree. Instead, they purchased this property, they wanna use this as their parking and sell the Storm Farm, which is for sale right now. They were talking about either a traditional parking lot using asphalt, or would it be a grass field, but much what they were gonna do with Storm Farm. Now, as Neil was saying, anybody that's driven that road, and I have my entire life, it's swampy wetland. It's been used as a farm over the years, but it just doesn't grow much because it's wet most of the time, except for those absolutely dry weeks in July, August, where it turns brown. But other than that, it's wet. So in order to use this lot, they would have to raise the ground, they're gonna have to use fill to get it up out of the water. And then they talked about either doing a traditional asphalt, or, as I think I heard it right, Mr. Hoffman was saying, hey, you could use a grass top covering, with, a hard underlayment, which from my point of view, for an environmental side, I'd much rather see a pristine green field than blacktop that's gonna sit there all year and just cook during the summer, and really just be used once a year. For that, either way though, they're still up to the point where you coat it on either blacktop or grass. There are still things that I think we need to consider as the ERB. It's 936 cars, and I just took a quick look, just looking at it, you can eyeball it. It looks to me like they gotta raise the ground about 2 feet. They wanna, according to the narrative, they want to raise the ground to even out where they've already started filling in off of a Hartley. And to my eye, that looks to be about 18 inches to 2 feet. And if that's the case, covering, 11 acres, using 16-yard dump trucks, it's sort of 3,600 truckloads of fill. That is just weeks, if not a few months of constant trucking, which I understand it has to be done.
You're also looking at Hartley. It's the truck avenue of the county.
Yeah, and as much problems as we've had with that road in the past.
Right.
Doing 3,600 trucks, you won't see the road go bad in the first year. It takes a couple of years, but you're beating it down, and then you start with that thing all beat up again. But even just that, and I live just a little over a mile as the crow flies from this site. And I'm on those roads all the time. The amount of traffic coming in, I would like to see the applicant create a traffic plan where they keep the trucks off the road during the peak hours for commuters on 17. It's already jammed up. Also, the noise, engine braking should be prohibited in that area. Those trucks coming down 17M, I'm telling
Good
you,
luck with that.
I sound asleep and you're like,
Right
come
in
on.
front of my house,
Yeah,
every day.
for this, and I this has actually been brought up to the town board before. Can we just ban them in the town altogether, or can we ban them on certain roadways? And it doesn't seem to have gotten any traction. But here we are with a specific project that is short-term. I'm talking about a short-term construction for whatever, just it's gonna take them the summer to build it, in and around the town of Goshen. Those roads are flat, and there's really no reason to have a Jake brake going.
Yeah, but you're never gonna stop that, because you've got people coming in from all over the place driving massive rigs.
Well-
And they're not going to understand, especially when they come down in dark or whenever.
And
When
I'm-
they hit those brakes, like especially on 17A, they hit those brakes, who's gonna stop them? And most of them would not even have any idea that you can't use that. I know you're not supposed to, but that doesn't seem to stop anybody.
What I'm talking about is this particular project with a single point head of the
Yeah, but
project.
they're not gonna be using the rigs that would have Jake brakes for the triaxles.
Sure, so any tandem or triaxle may have an engine brake on it. And what I'm saying is, when Science of the Souls contracts this out as part of the arrangement with the town,
I see.
whoever you contract with cannot use an engine brake in and around the town. You're not gonna shake the valley for months. And because you have a single point, you know, and let me just back up and say this can work, because IWS, these guys coming flying off 17M, they take the turns fast. I had the opportunity to speak to their representative here in town when they were up for their permits. I pulled them to the side and I said, "You're not in the truck, I'm not blaming you, but this is what's happening, I see it all the time. Would it be possible to talk to your drivers?" He said, "Say no more. I'm telling you, these guys come into Hartley now, coming off 17M, I've watched them. They take that turn nice and slow, there's a lot of respect." And I said, wow, all it took was just one guy, the boss, to say, "Hey, if you do this, I'm gonna fire you." I'm saying here, in this case, you're gonna have, if you have one point of contact, one guy that's in charge of the trucking, no Jake brakes in the town. The other thing is slapping that tailgate. I drove dump trucks for years. My boss told me, "You slap that tailgate, I'm gonna cut you loose." One, it makes a tremendous amount of noise. Two, it breaks the welds on the body of the truck. But I do, again, I'm up there on the hill on Howard Court. The transfer station, they have trucks come in on the overnight, and they slap that tailgate and it just echoes the valley. Boom, and you're like, there's just no reason to do it. Now, if it happens once in a while, that's trucking, this is what it is to live in, you know, society. If you're taking 3,600 trucks and you got boom going on, I think for the residents that live in the neighborhood, there's no reason that the town can't say, "If you slap that tailgate, we're gonna fine you." These are simple fixes that makes life better. We're talking about our environment. The material, back to the amount of fill that they need to bring in, this is an environmentally sensitive area. It is always wet. That water goes straight into the creeks that goes over to the bird sanctuary, but it's also part of our aquifer. So, a certified clean fill, says, any project should have this, but I just feel like I need to say it.
I think it would be a great idea to put the fill in and then either, I don't know about sod, but I mean, just let it, be seeded out for a regular, grass, just like the principal at Sussex Fairgrounds. There's just tons and tons of parking and it's all grass.
Now, is it grass or is it hay?
No, it's all grass.
So, all right, I'll skip forward to that, and I think it's really up to the applicant whether they wanna go with full asphalt or if they
Well,
want to
that'd
go.
be terrible.
Well, first of all, it's incredibly expensive. They have to paint it, they need curbs, they need drainage. It makes no sense to me that they would use asphalt, especially if we're
No,
telling them.
especially being who they are.
Yes. They're environmentally friendly group and they prefer to do good. I do think that a grass covered. Now, I come up a little short here because I am concerned, Neil and I had this conversation the other day, I am a little bit concerned about parking on grass, high grass, and the possibility of the catalytic converter starting a fire in the
I-
driest
no,
months.
They would mow it.
Well, this is the problem. You can mow that grass right now, but if you bring in some hoopty truck with an exhaust system hanging down low and it's just dragging on the ground, it's still a fire. So, it's rare, but it can happen, but I still think we're better off with grass. If they wanted to do a hay field, I've parked in hay fields plenty, but I have a pickup truck. But if they mow this thing down tight and then bring people in, but it also, it makes hay. I like hay, I think it's good for farmers, if it can be.
So, you wanna plant a hay field,
Or grass.
10 acres, and then have a farmer come in and take the hay.
That would be the idea,
That would be beneficial for many reasons.
yeah.
Let me tell you, they will not allow,
But-
Tell me what.
but
they will not allow you to do hay for animals that are gonna be.
Well, how about hay for horses?
No, I am being serious.
We got a lot of horse
I'm not-
farms.
Yeah, no, I am being serious about this, and I'm
Yeah,
not against
okay,
it.
no, it's their field, they got that
No,
right to say that.
I know it, I just know that from the past with storm
Strictly
farm.
vegan, doesn't want anything to
They
do.
won't let them cut the hay?
No, they will not let them cut the hay to be fed to cattle or sheep or something like that.
Well, yeah, cause
Feed
you're
animals.
parking cars over it.
Yeah, but.
No, because they are
Vegetarians.
vegetarians.
Oh, they.
Signs
no, no.
installed.
That's what you were trying to explain.
They-
You've got enough horse farms around.
No, I know,
You can
I-
buy that hay in 2 seconds.
I don't disagree with you at all,
As
and it's
long
quality.
as it's quality and not trunks all
Yeah.
over or having cars all over it.
Yep.
It would have to be harvest before, when do
Oh,
they
sure,
come
it's
in,
gonna be the
August?
week.
I think that, yeah, they
It
put
would-
July
that
off.
would
Well,
be
whenever
done
they have it,
before
yeah, yeah.
Once
So,
again,
May, June, the latest, it could be
Whatever.
cut and hay.
They can take care of that when they, if they have it, they can take care of that and say, here it is, you can hay it, and here's where you're gonna cut it.
You're the first one at that door. You
Once
say,
it-
I know where it can go.
once again, the covering for the field is really up to the applicant. If they wanna spend the money, it's their money, and they can go ahead and do it with asphalt. I would prefer it to be grass, but I don't know that the town really has the
Don't
ability to.
we have any input on that?
What, go ahead, what do you wanna put,
I think asphalt's terrible,
why?
because it's just not, it's not good for that area, and 11 acres is a lot of land.
What's not good?
All the salt, all the stuff that comes off of it,
They're probably not gonna salt it ever, because they're not gonna have anything in the winter, but I'm okay with it.
I don't know, I just,
Well, first,
I feel
I-
for an environmental reason.
From an environmental
the-
From an environmental point of view, I really don't, I'd like to limit
And
or,
also cost.
it's very expensive.
But it's their expense, so let's,
And it is, so taking the money out of it, from the environmental point of view, I'd prefer not to use a petroleum product if I don't have to. I would prefer not to use spray paint to do the lines and VOCs into the
and then you
atmosphere.
also have to reseal it every summer.
And then I'd rather not have to reseal it, that's also another petroleum product. So overall, I think it's better to use grass than asphalt. Also, for drainage on rains, if you do
Well, that's
asphalt,
another thing.
if you do asphalt, you'll have to drain to basins, you're gonna have to make sure that this water doesn't flood into the surrounding waterways. Again, it is an environmentally sensitive area, as opposed to if you put it on ground, it filters.
I was
Nature
gonna
doesn't
say, the
slip.
rain would be absorbed through the field, right?
Yes,
Right.
And you gotta deal with runoff if you put in,
The only
exactly.
problem is, if you bring in that much fill and everything, this is gonna take a little time to settle down, and.
Yeah, that's a them problem. Either way,
Yeah.
either grass or asphalt, that, you're absolutely right. I'd imagine there are engineers, they know what they're doing, so they get that worked out. But going now, talking about, also, as the trucks leave the site, it's just unavoidable consequence that you're gonna drag, dirt out onto Hartley during the construction. And again, if we're talking 3,000 plus trucks, and that's just a rough figure. Maybe it's only 1,000 trucks. Still 1,000 trucks is a lot. It would be up to the applicant to keep Hartley Road clear for local traffic. That is, I want it swept, I'm not driving through mud and stuff. We already have the problem with IWS. Post-construction use, the applicant has said that they are only looking to use this lot once or twice per year. And so far as I know, it's only once, but let's say it's once or twice per year, they have their big jamboree. If that is the case, and we are approving it as such, I'd be much easier to say, I'm good with what you're doing, as opposed to, you're gonna use it every single weekend. Also, not that we're concerned about the money at the ERB, but they are tax exempt, and if you're gonna turn this into a storage facility or a parking lot for local car dealerships or whatever, that is now a commercial use. All right, so the idea for me is once or twice a year, otherwise the field stays pristine, there's no reason for anything to be in it, you just need to mow it and maintain it. Lighting, if they're going to use asphalt, Yeah, now it's curbs, it's pavement, it's lines, it's lighting, it's everything that you need to do to have a parking lot. If it is a grass-topped field, then for lighting, you can bring in temporary lighting for that weekend. You don't even need to run electricity into the field. Once again, it'll be easier if it's wide open, and that's how the farmer can come in and cut it, or the landscaper. If you're just gonna put in regular grass, that's fine.
Is Amy's a dead deal?
Yes.
Amy's is dead, yeah.
Well, I find it interesting how that was supposed to be a tax incentive.
Oh, that's a,
Amy's.
oh, Carol,
And
you,
Science of the Soul
we could drink all night long talking about that project.
was supposed to be just something,
Of course, of
and now all of a
course.
sudden, there's no tax base at all.
The answer on that, is, and I think it's true, I haven't followed up on it. The answer on that is that Amy's Kitchen made a promise that the town would never collect less taxes than what they were collecting prior to Science of the Soul going in there. And in fact, Amy's was going to pay that additional money that was lost from Amy's, Science of the Soul side, when they paid the taxes on their side, until the point where whatever they constructed on their side met that number. So if you lost $40,000 over there, when they built the building over here, now it's additional $40,000, that was gonna be it now, they weren't gonna pay anything extra. I think they have done that, I fully expected they have, I certainly have raised it enough times to the town.
Question?
You're saying Amy's is paying the taxes?
I'm saying that, let's go with Science of the Soul's property,
Yeah?
when it was vacant land,
Uh-huh.
was paying, I don't know, what do you wanna guess?
Give us a number.
$20,000.
20,000, got it.
Okay, so Amy's Kitchen was saying, look, when that goes tax exempt, we will pay that additional $20,000 a year. And let's say our side was paying $10,000 a year.
Yeah,
So we will pay that additional $20,000 until the point where our side of the river, or our side of the property,
yeah,
is paying $30,000 a year, in which case we're not gonna pay, we're never gonna go below $30,000, but we're gonna pay ours as it goes up. We're not gonna keep on paying that 20.
Pilot.
Right.
I have never heard I've never, in all the discussions we've had about Amy's and such, and there've been plenty at the town board meetings, nobody's ever brought up the tax thing.
I have,
At the town board meetings?
I think so. I'm not
Okay.
sure the town board understands it either.
Okay, be that as it may, yes, there's a whole thing that happened over the last 10 years with Amy's, and now we're on to the parking lot. So,
Right.
again, if they're going to use it once or twice a year and keep it pristine as a grass field, I think that the town board, would do well to approve it. If Amy says, listen, we really wanna do it with asphalt, then if the town board is going to approve it, it's gotta be a full-on parking lot, which will be quite expensive, but again, not my money, right? That's my take on it. I don't wanna see a half-done parking lot, just lay out some blacktop in a field, that can't be.
When they had these past events here, that's why they bought Strong's Farm to house the people in the barn and to.
No, not having people in the barn, no.
Just parking.
I thought they were gonna do that, people came to do the work and stuff like that.
They did before, a long time ago.
Yeah.
When they first were starting, they were using that as a staging
Okay.
to go over there, and they went over and worked on Science of the Soul's
So
property.
what have they used that for parking then the past couple of years that they've had?
I
events
think
there?
they may have,
So why are they going here then, if you're gonna
Because
put
I
a
think it's-
parking lot and you gotta pave it and you gotta do this?
because I think it was tedious, I think it's tedious over there to get the people from there over.
The
It's not as,
logistics didn't work out as well as they thought.
yeah, and yeah, some people had to be bussed over there.
So what are they gonna do, walk across the street now or still bus them over?
Walk and bus.
I think they could do it right, but I mean, right now, all they have to do is get down to the Heritage Trail, they walk the Heritage Trail, quarter mile, and they get back up in there, right there.
Oh, they're down at that part of,
This property that they're talking about here, it goes all the way down to the Heritage Trail. So they can get out to the road or walk down the Heritage Trail, and then get a Heritage
it's
Trail.
not right across from where the entrance to the bridge is right now.
It is.
That
It is.
low field there?
Yeah,
Yes, but that field, not only is it straight across from the bridge,
It
but if
goes
you're looking at
across?
Hartley, that property goes all the way to the right to the Heritage Trail.
Oh, so
yeah,
that's,
all the way down to the Heritage Trail there, yeah.
well, at least one good thing, they sell Strongs, that'll go back on the
Yeah,
tax roll,
right.
so you're
Yep.
losing as much on this.
And that's the intention, they're looking to sell it if you
Yeah.
have
it's
$1 million,
the
2
house
or
is
$1 million, 3,
beautiful.
whatever the number
Is
is.
that all?
How much?
I thought I heard a number was $1.3 million or something.
I just told
No,
you
do
it's
not-
$1 million too.
Do not,
It's
do
gotta
not
be
trust me
worth-
that.
Because it
Beautiful
dates from
farm.
the late 1700s, the house is done.
The house is really nice, but,
$3/4 of a
but,
million.
look, don't trust my number.
Okay.
Do not trust my number, don't take your $1 million out of the bank and go right there.
I got one comment.
Yeah.
For all these trucks that are dumping,
Yeah.
for sound, like we did a big construction project and we limited the amount, the hours of work.
Mhm.
So that when people were resting and sleeping and eating
Yeah.
dinner, they didn't hear us, or getting up
Mhm.
and. So is there that possibility where all these trucks could be limited so that,
We don't have a code that says you can't make noise on the road.
no, it wouldn't be code?
No,
It would
but-
just be
Okay.
part of the agreement.
But I was gonna say, we do have a code that says you can't make noise on the property though. Okay, so the driving noise would not be covered, but we could, and I think they certainly would agree to that. And it's fairly wide open, I think it's 8 o'clock
Well, I mean, if
until.
they can't dump a truck, I doubt they're gonna drive it.
Right,
They
yeah.
don't have to. And then they'll probably do compression.
I think so, I think they're gonna come
Which
out
is
for a
pretty
while.
noisy, and
Yeah,
if you live close to that, I don't know I looked at this,
Yeah.
but I don't remember the neighborhoods.
it's a ways away before you get to people, but,
Okay.
yeah.
Yeah,
But-
it's pretty industrial type of.
But
So then-
but I think they'll do the hours, I think. And I was gonna say it's 8 to 6 or something, 8 to 8 at night maybe.
Neil, you might know this, since the town is issuing a special permit, does the town have the ability to say what John just said, make it, only construction between this time and
I
this time?
think they're gonna do it. We can certainly talk about the noise on our property.
Right.
Driving there, they could be 5 minutes early or whatever, but yeah, I think they're gonna do it anyhow. I think that's gonna be.
At least they're not working till 11 or 12 o'clock. at
No,
night.
we're
They're
not,
trying to get to sleep,
sure,
you know.
I think you're not gonna get that. I think, and I forget what it is. Grace, do you remember the hours, noise hours?
6 to 6.
No, it's 8 o'clock in the morning, I think.
I believe it's 8 AM.
It's 8 AM until something, and then it's 9 AM on weekends
I
and
can look
holidays.
for you. I can try anyway.
That's everything that I had, Neil, that was, and again, I did email that to everybody, if that,
I think the other real good reason why we don't run asphalt is the increase in the temperature of the water. That's gonna go into the stream and everything.
Yeah.
Big thing, it's gonna be like a big sink.
Heat sink, yeah.
It's huge,
Mhm.
especially 11 acres running off, and that would make a huge impact. So I think environmentally that way, it would have a big thing. The other thing is obviously, we hit it already, but water quality going in there is above a primary aquifer. And in fact, Goshen drinks out of this downstream. It goes into the Wallkill River and downstream, 2 miles, 3 miles, we take it back out and bring it back up. So, we don't really take it out of the stream, we take it alongside the stream.
And they're gonna have to bond like Hartman Road or whatever, because you get that much dirt coming.
Sure, and I think certainly the road issue is there. And I know certainly when we were doing Amy's, I signed Legoland, when we were doing Legoland, we were looking at the dirt coming off the property or whatever,
Yeah.
even though they said it's all gonna be balanced, well, the dirt grew, I don't know what to say, but the amount of dirt that grew there, because we had to get rid of a lot of dirt and move a lot of dirt there that we never planned on. But anyhow, we talked about we talked about where it's gonna go to and what routes you're allowed to take. And so we certainly can talk about where they're gonna pick this up from or what routes they're allowed to use getting into this site. Especially when you're talking 3,600 trips. Okay? We talked about testing the soil, and we have to come up with some kind of testing protocols, whether it's testing every 3rd, 4th, 5th truck, 10th truck, depending on if it's coming from the same site, what?
Where are they gonna get them?
They're
So
gonna.
it's 8 AM and 8 PM on weekdays and 9 AM and 8 PM on weekends
Thank you very
or
much.
holidays.
All right, I think they're gonna take it wherever there's a construction project going on, probably. And we're gonna hope it's good, because we have had really bad soils come in from New Jersey and from Newburgh. So much so that we had a contaminated site or two in the past. I had to have it removed. We had that off of, Gates Schoolhouse, and we had it off of Knoll Road. Knoll Road was actually a DEC site for a while.
Wow.
People putting garbage in, or not garbage, it was like asphalt, or MDBs or whatever on it. It was bad soil. Talk about the heat. All right, and I think the other thing we could make, suggest that there's be a condition about, if they're gonna do this, that there's a condition that they mow it the week prior to the event, irregardless of whether it's hay or not. And the concern is the fire. So if it's the wrong time for hay, and 1 year it could be a bad time for hay, and another year it could be a great time for hay, but
So,
you don't
Yeah,
care.
the hard part there is that if you process it in hay in May or June, by the time August comes,
You may have a second cutting.
yeah.
I know. And then there's also gonna be when you can get on there and get off, you know, and, right, so.
And with all those cars on there, it'll ruin.
Sure, you're gonna want, if you're gonna take a second cutting, you're gonna take it down before that. So anyhow, I think the condition, from a fire point of view, I think the condition's gonna, a condition to mow it before time, no matter what is there. And we also said something about, condition very plainly that there is no other outside uses, such as storage for cars or storage for
anything.
It's intended to be used only for their own events. I think that right now, I think Signs of the Soul is restricted to one big event, up to 10,000 people. And that's a 2 or 3 day event. And I think they're allowed to have 1 or 2 2,000 people events.
And how did it go last year?
Well, obviously you didn't hear too much about it, so it couldn't have
It's
been bad.
uneventful. Goshen PD manned River Road there at 17M. They got everybody in and out very quickly, but they were also busing people in from hotels and surrounding areas. They weren't driving in themselves. So I think that, of course, really knocked down the traffic. But, I
Because I
mean,
didn't hear a thing at all.
You have any complaints in the office?
No, I heard it went well.
yeah,
Wow.
that seemed, it seemed to go really well.
Yeah, I think the biggest problem really is people coming in, because they start, I've heard them, they start to line up to come in as early as 6 or 7 o'clock in the morning. They beat our police there. But I think the thing starts at 10 or so, and then they really do get them out within the next, like 1 hour afterwards. And it is not a long thing, they're in, starts at 10 and I think they're out by 12 or something like that.
And that's 3 days?
Up to 3 days, I think the last 2 times it's been 2 days,
Been Saturday, Sunday.
I think so.
And if they have this big parking lot, they can all camp out there.
No.
Well, they can get there at 6 AM.
They can sit there and eat their veggie burgers or whatever.
And listen, do that.
Yeah, right, so, but yeah, I think it has been really good that way. And I
Well,
heard
that's
only
a
one,
big concern with a parking lot that's grass, if they hang out and have, individual fires going on.
yeah, they haven't, and I can tell you that,
These aren't tailgate type people.
No.
They're not,
Yeah, I had no idea.
yeah, it's not a sport event, it's not there.
no, and in all honesty, they have volunteers, who love to volunteer. And I think they have close to 1 volunteer for every 10 people or something like
Oh, wow,
that.
okay.
They have a tremendous amount of volunteers.
So they have control.
They do have control that way, yeah. And the people generally love me, I haven't heard of any fights.
Yeah, it's not that kind of crowd.
Why, and there's no alcohol, so.
There's no- yeah,
It's not the middle of town.
No alcohol, no barbecue for me, geez.
Yes, it's not the Orange County Fair Speedway. It's not the Eastern States. No, whole different type of crowd.
Yeah, diesel days.
And I think the other thing we mentioned was the SWIP, and I think the SWIP has to be there, and it's gonna be significant for that. No, let's, 2 more things. I know it's a floodplain. In fact, I know that the floodplain in that area comes right over our road. Comes over onto the Amy's Kitchen side of that road. So, they're gonna have to do all the calculations for that, and possibly have some compensatory storage somewhere else. If you fill in 11 acres, that was gonna hold,
Right,
whatever number of gallons of water,
right.
and if you're gonna bring it up, if you're gonna bring that whole area up,
Out.
you're gonna push flood, you're gonna have some kind of bottleneck there that didn't exist before. And you're gonna push it somewhere. That whole calculation has to be figured out, and whose property it might adversely impact
That's a very good point.
because of that.
Yep.
And I don't know the answer, it looks like it's gonna go, it'll probably go across the, what's that called? The Rio Grande.
Rio Grande, well,
Yeah.
the water, there's the floodway, the waterway that's right there on the property does make its way right to the Rio Grande, so.
Right. Well, that is, I think
but
that is
can it-
actually the Rio Grande.
Yeah, it is, so, but you're right, can it handle 11 acres of
Yeah, when
water?
you start to squeeze it there, I don't know.
You're gonna have flooding.
Because
Yeah.
that's gonna settle uneven too, that's gonna be a process.
Mm-hmm. Unless you compact it, I mean, you could, if you're gonna put 2 foot in, you compact it for the first 18 inches, and then the top is what you're gonna, grow something in.
Topsoil, right?
Yeah. But yeah, and so that's the floodplain, you're gonna need a floodplain development permit, and it's gonna be very significant in this. But I think you are causing a bottleneck there. And the other thing is that, with all the people saying it, including Rick Florio, who works for TAM or whatever, he said that, that whole area is wet. If that whole area is wet, all 11 acres and all that, I suspect it's somebody's floodplain, or wetlands. I suspect it's either Army Corps or DEC wetlands.
According to their paperwork they have online, with the town, there's a very small section that is actually wetland, the rest of it is not, which I found hard to believe, but.
I certainly think it should have another wetland delineation,
Okay.
because everybody's talking about it being so wet.
When I say wet, I'm not saying standing water,
No, I
I'm saying you couldn't drive a truck in there without getting stuck, but you don't see standing water, it's just, and it's not marshy, it's just, look, when it was for sale in 2017, I actually looked at it and I said, you know what, and then I said, it's wet, and I don't wanna engineer the whole thing.
And the answer is that wetlands do not have to have water standing at all, you can never have water standing and it could be wetland. It's a matter of having vegetation, and there's multiple criteria for it. Vegetation being one of it, and if it's basically, if there's wet water up to the roots for more than 6 or 8 days during the growing season, it's probably gonna be wetlands vegetation or something. So, in any case, I think the delineation needs to be done, just to verify that the wetlands are only as small as they say they are. In which case, then they're gonna have to possibly do compensation for wetlands. I think that's generally 2 for 1 or 3 for 1. So I think that they should look at that.
Alrighty.
All right, anything else on that?
No.
All right, let's go now to public participation. So I had spoken to the town board, I think in December, that I would like to figure out some way for the public to make comments on what we're discussing or ask questions or whatever while during the discussion. And I suggested, because I didn't know any better, that we could have a Zoom meeting. I was told by Mary at the town board meeting that would cost us about $25,000 to set it up. And Grace is nodding her head yes, so that's not gonna happen. We are not doing a Zoom meeting. However, I think I may have somebody willing to get us a tablet that we can then set up a email account for that
Right,
tablet.
yeah, you can, yeah.
And maybe even to do it as a
Or
Facebook
like a
thing or whatever.
FaceTime.
But whatever, and I don't need these people to appear here so we can see them. I would like to,
Because when you're on Facebook, you can do like a live session on Facebook and people comment, and you see the comments
you're
coming.
much too young, I don't know this
So-
crap.
Yeah, but that would require me sitting here.
We're monitoring a Facebook.
Monitoring that.
You're right.
Right, and
yeah.
then, otherwise I was thinking, in my limited thoughts here, I was coming up with, well, one of us up here could just sit here. If somebody sends an email and says, you know, I have this question. we
I
can-
mean, yeah, you could have one of your board members
Or,
do
look,
that.
I'm happy having you do it too, but I'm not trying to take the job away from you, but.
No, I mean, if that's what you're doing, I think that would require though you getting approval from the supervisor of the town board.
Okay, I think if we do it that way, we can do it easy enough, because I told him I was gonna do something,
Okay,
okay? And I told him we're gonna get their ability to do that.
I would just make sure that you have the
Okay.
approval.
I'm just, yeah, okay.
Is
I
it just
knew.
me? This is the first meeting, there's no public.
On the other hand, they may be watching us.
Ah, okay.
Well, that's what I was gonna say, if they're live streaming,
Yes.
if we just had a telephone number here.
Yeah,
Right?
yeah, but all we gotta do
Or
is,
cell
sure,
phones, yeah. Regular cell phones.
That would be low tech.
yeah,
And
yeah.
I still remember how to use one, I think.
Yep,
And,
and I don't disagree with you, and the other thing is, I was not gonna offer my phone number.
No, I mean, certainly the town has a number there?
No, I don't think down here, I don't think there's a
No,
phone
there's,
down here.
there's no phone, there's no way to, there's no way to do it through the through the town, and honestly, there's no budget to do it either, especially for the.
That's what I thought, like, I
Yeah.
thought there'd be we used to have telephones everywhere, but
Yeah,
That's
that's
all.
right, I think I have somebody who's willing to donate a tablet that we can do it, and set it up so it'll have, it can have its own email, that's all the tablet's gonna be used for, is for that.
Yeah, and just put that out, and then when
and
it's
so
here,
we-
one of us will monitor.
Right, so we can put that on our agenda, and people can see that, we can also announce it at the beginning of the meeting. If you wanna get in touch with us, here's the email, or here's the instant messenger, or whatever.
I did just envision John's idea where we each have a phone in front of us, like a telephone, and we're just answering the phone the whole day.
I think you would have to do it at the end of the I think my suggestion, I mean, again, I think it needs approval. But again, I think it should be something like the town board does and have it at the end of the meeting and open it up at the end, say, the last. I don't think you should do it for every application. I think it should be something at the end where you have the last, we're now gonna open it up to the public, call in with your questions.
Yeah, I think it's gonna be evolving, go ahead, John.
Supposing people call in, but you also have people in the audience and they're commenting on everything,
Well,
the
yeah,
application.
look,
They're not even-
when we used to have people show up here, and
They would sit here.
they would raise their hand and we would.
I even, honestly, my suggestion is I even think when you have people show up here, I think you should do it more the way the town board does it and open it up at the end of the meeting, instead of having
The
comments.
interaction
That's just
that
my
we used to,
suggestion, I just
yeah.
think it makes it easier.
Yeah.
It makes it easy, but we don't really follow that kind of protocol or Robert's.
I think the other thing is that-
It's pretty free form here in wrestling, I mean,
I just think it makes it easier even to
It does.
do,
Minutes, maybe.
yeah, right now it's kinda difficult. I
I
gotta be
think
honest.
The only problem with that is that then you get to the end of the meeting and people may have had a comment that would have led to further discussion on a topic. Go ahead.
well, you could do each topic and then open.
Or if you
Oh,
wanna
yeah,
do it at the
each
end
topic.
of each topic.
We could, that wouldn't be.
But I think if you're gonna have people calling in, I think they should do it at the end. I just,
Well, how many people live stream this? I mean,
No idea.
and I
We
think,
don't know
I
at
think we're
this
such a
point.
small town that
YouTubers.
it's not like people have to spend an hour to get here.
John,
But
we
I think the last time, I heard the last time we had possibly 47 or so.
People that were
Well,
watching.
watching?
Yeah.
Wow.
No, that's live watching. Then you have other people who go back 2 days later and they'll pull it up and watch it.
Yeah.
Well, when I started with this group 21 years ago, we were in a closet.
Upstairs, you're right, upstairs.
really think about it, if you're
So-
gonna start people calling, not coming here, and now they're gonna be asking questions from home, you could potentially spend a lot of time.
A lot of time. You can really extend the length of this meeting.
Well, what's gonna happen is, I think it's gonna evolve. We're gonna try something, and if it works, I figure by the end of the year, we'll figure out exactly what we wanna do. So, I think it's gonna evolve, really. I think if we get overwhelmed, we're gonna cut it back. Now, obviously, I think we're not gonna take any comments that are vulgar or whatever. We're not gonna take any negative comments about any particular person.
Political.
Right, we're not into that. And so if the question comes through that way, we're either gonna ignore the question totally, or we're gonna clean it up.
Sounds like a plan.
Okay, so if we're gonna have an email, I was gonna go with something as simple as Goshen Environmental, or Goshen ERB Meeting.
Yep,
Any,
at Gmail.
Gmail, whatever happens, but I just wanna get something so we have some idea.
Well, if it's email, people could even drop in comments, like if they
Yeah.
can't watch it tonight and they catch it later and drop one in.
Yeah.
We take a look at it.
But you gotta also think of like today where there was no phone service all day.
Oh, that's
Really?
right. Yeah.
Yeah, there was
Verizon
there was a
down.
nationwide outage.
That's what the call came through. My brother in Pennsylvania was
Oh.
testing to see if Verizon was up.
Okay.
Oh,
Well,
Verizon.
my phone.
was-
It was
worked.
actually, it was nationwide, it wasn't just Verizon.
Hang on, okay, this is what a loser I am. My phone didn't ring and I didn't think anything of it. I just realized nobody calls me.
It was a nationwide outage.
Boy, what a nice day.
And believe it or not, some phones were working and then they stopped, and like mine was not working and then it started working and then it stopped again and not working and, you know.
Mine worked all day.
Are we just talking about voice or text as well?
Text messages were sporadic.
Okay.
Text messages were going through, some of them,
Phone service.
depending on where you were,
Yeah.
and
Okay.
if you had Wi-Fi, so you might have been getting text messages, but you were
Could've been.
most likely not getting phone calls,
Wow,
or you got them sporadically.
I didn't know.
All
Then
right.
again, I guess, you know, here I am, my
I'm
life went on.
retired, so I wouldn't have noticed.
Okay, so I'm gonna try to get that set up for the next meeting, and hopefully we'll have something on the ground, and,
If you're gonna do an email, goshenerb@gmail.com.
okay.
Everybody knows how to spell Goshen, everybody knows the letters ERB.
Yeah.
Don't make it
Yeah,
complex.
no, I don't wanna make it, I wanna make it simple, because now I have to think of an S word too.
Okay,
All right, anything else? All right, thank you very much.
thank
So
you.
who gets these lovely things?
Oh, you know what?